Welcome back to Racecast, everyone. Thanks for joining us. While you're here, make sure you subscribe, click like, and comment down below if you've got anything that you want us to talk about in a future episode. We do read all the comments. You can also contact us on Instagram and TikTok, where we do post quite a lot of content. And we've actually just given away a little Miami cap, which is very cool. I'm going to put a picture up here. So, yeah, you can also listen to us on Apple Spotify, I was about to say, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Everything is in the description down below. We're going to crack on.
All right, guys, welcome along to episode, what is this now, 9? This is actually episode 9, I think, isn't it? Wow, this is flying by when you have fun. Luke, that intro was okay.
I had a heavy weekend.
Yeah, you did. Let's touch on that quickly before we get into actually the race. You went to a charity event. I know in the last episode you were a bit annoyed because you didn't get paid to go. Was there anything when you got there? Did they give you a check, pass you some money?
Got a little drinks voucher.
Is that what you got?
Yeah. I know I did win a bottle of champagne as well. Don't know if it was rigged or not.
Was it the good stuff?
I don't. To be honest, I don't drink champagne. What I'm waiting for is for when Liverpool win the league. And I'm going to go outside in the garden, F1 it.
It won't be this year. But anyway, this is not a football podcast. This is an F1 podcast.
No, it's not. But to confirm, the charity event was hosted by a friend. I wasn't paid, and I wouldn't expect to be paid to go to any event. Anyway,
I love the fact
to clear that joke up.
I love the fact that we have people going home going, wow, I can't believe he wanted to be paid to go to a charity event.
No, but sometimes jokes...
people.
They aren't taken as jokes. So, right, I don't know if you saw, for my birthday, on the Waffling Instagram, Weller posted like a series of pictures. And in there, one of them, there's a picture of Kane Larkin. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, why does that name ring a bell?
Because he got absolutely rinsed online for being a schmuck, basically. So Weller put this picture up of... me, all of the pictures were me, and then one was just randomly Kane Larkin. Everyone was just like, oh my God, like, I can't believe Luke used to look like that. I never looked like that.
To be fair, no, I did see that. And I did think to myself, I was like, it doesn't look like Luke, because obviously I've known you for years, so I was a bit shocked.
That is not me. Look, right, some of the comments.
But you did have your hair like that when you were younger, though.
Yeah, but I didn't look like that. People like, oh, that second one with crying faces.
You're getting quite defensive about this.
It's not me.
No, okay, well, that's all you need to say. But it does, you used to have hair like that, and it does actually, it's not that far off looking what you looked like when you were younger with your hair, like your emo hair and that.
Telling me that it's not far off doesn't help, does it?
Should we move on? I am delighted because I still don't have to get a tattoo, so I'm really happy with that.
But, are you not worried? Because the Williams... now I might contradict myself. Is the Williams a car that is capable of getting points? Or is Alex Albon just out driving it? I know we touched on this a little bit last week, but he can't be that much better.
Okay, so
I think we said he is better. That much better?
There's two train of thoughts here, okay? Firstly, Albon is doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And he will get points for Williams this year. Williams are
He's
actually
already done it.
No, that's what I mean. He will continue. He will continue to do that.
Mystic Meg.
Yeah, he will have 3 points by the end of Miami. Williams are actually a very fast car, and they've shown that this weekend in practice. However,
P2.
I know their downfall is they have Latifi. So, am I worried? No. If I had then turned around and go, okay, Alex Albon, if he gets over 10 points, I'll get a tattoo. Then I would be a bit worried.
Yeah.
But I feel pretty safe with Latifi.
But Latifi did get points last season.
Yeah, he did. He did. But then there's a lot of cars worse. Haas weren't getting points, were they, last year?
Yeah, true. I wouldn't say there was a lot of cars worse, but...
But still, I, at the moment, don't feel worried. Because what my hope is actually by June or by the summer break, they will let him go, and then I'm safe. Then I don't have to get a tattoo.
Yeah, true. And I have been thinking about what you are going to have to get.
Anything good?
I think it might be a portrait of Helmut Marko.
No. I don't want that. I don't want that. So yeah, I'm pretty delighted, if in all honesty, that I still don't have to get a tattoo. But Barcelona is next, and anything can happen. It is funny though, because after I posted that, people are going, "Okay, I'm now invested in this. I'm now invested that I want to see Latifi do well."
Yeah, well, that's the thing. See, we're gaining traction for him. We're actually getting him fans, I think, because now
no one knew who he was.
Now the Racecast fans want him to get a point. They're going to be cheering him on because they want to see you with helmet marker on your bicep.
Oh no, not the bicep. No, that would be awful.
I think it'd be quite cool.
I tell you what people really loved last week. Your piss taking out of the Aston Martin team principal.
Oh, Mike Crack. That is it.
Right, so shall we touch on Miami? I was actually very impressed with this weekend. And I don't know if that's just because of the spectacle of it and, Americans do it 10 times better than anywhere else.
Which, can I just say, it was a spectacle. I was on this website called Reddit.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like different pictures floating around of like things for sale there and stuff. I mean, firstly, to go to that little the harbour, if you can even call it that, for like a 4-person ticket, it ranged between $9,000 and $38,000.
What, to go on the fake harbour?
Yeah.
No.
38.
It did look good though, didn't it? You've got to admit, it didn't look awful.
Yeah.
It didn't look tacky.
Okay. So what we said last week is, well, you were saying, yeah, but it will look great on camera. Yeah, you want it to look good if you paid $38,000 to be there.
Yeah, no, I know that. But what I said last week, you were like, you were unsure whether it was going to actually look good. You got to admit, it did look good on camera.
The track did look cool.
Yeah.
I think all of it looked cool. But get this right. So for radio earmuffs, obviously to protect your ears, $200.
What, for earmuffs?
Radio earmuffs. I think you could listen to like the radio through them as well. Not like the team radio. I mean, like you probably listen to like BBC radio.
Wow, I'm listening to Christian Horner here. Like.
Yeah. No, I mean you'd throw them off, wouldn't you? Earmuffs, $100. Reusable earplugs, $80. And this is the worst one. Foam earplugs. You know the little pieces of shit that you get from Boots for like £2? You get like 4,000 of them.
If they're any more than $30,
$40.
no.
For two, granted, you get like a little F1 case thing, which is maybe like that big, which for those of you listening is about 1.5 inches. That is $40. You're going to use them and then just bin them.
What a waste of money.
I'd rather go deaf.
I don't think you would rather go deaf.
Watch me.
How are we going to prove it? What, just going to put you...
Right, granted it's hard to prove.
Watch me. What am I waiting for?
But I'm not... $40? No. That would, honestly, that would ruin my weekend. If I went into a shop and purchased them, I'd be like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Okay, it's the same as when I went to, for example, NFL at Wembley, okay? For food, my friend got a hot dog, and I know NFL and F1 aren't the same sport, and it's not the same analogy, all of that stuff.
They are different sports.
Yeah, they are different sports. But he got a hot dog, right? £19.
19 quid for a hot dog.
I was like, what? It was like an American hot dog, and it was ridiculous. I was like, 19 quid for that. Any of those things are just like massive rip-offs.
Well,
if you're going there for a weekend, you're going to spend a hell of a lot of money.
It's also the Americanization of everything. And I mean, we saw it when they came out to do the podium, and they're wearing like
NFL hats.
Yeah. Like,
didn't you not enjoy it though? Because I thought it was quite good. I thought it was good fun.
Okay, so there are like two ways to look at it. One is that like they always do make it a spectacle, the Americans.
Yeah.
And
massively.
it is cool. Sometimes, on the other hand, it's a bit too much. And like,
yeah,
from everything, even all the celebrities on the grid walk, that like I only watched bits of the grid walk. It was really awkward.
Can we quickly touch on that? Because I have got it actually on my notes here. I wanted to discuss with you.
Okay.
Martin Brundle. So he had a bit of a howler yesterday because he was talking to one guy who he thought was the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback, Mahomes.
Oh, yeah. I saw this.
He didn't realise actually
He was
wasn't.
standing there calling him Patrick.
Yeah.
And like the guy just wasn't responding.
He just went along with it. So that was quite embarrassing. But do we sometimes feel that we give celebrities on these grid too much power over the weekend? Because I'm not being funny. Like Martin Brundle was going around trying to talk to people. Did you see that Pharrell interview? Pharrell had no interest whatsoever to be part of that interview. And if you're a celebrity and you're going on that, you've got to be expected to be interviewed because that's what people want to see.
Yeah, and we had the problem with Megan Thee Stallion.
She was actually quite nice. It was actually her bodyguard, wasn't it?
Yeah, or whatever. But like that whole issue where, these celebrities are being invited to the sport. Surely it's like they should pay their respects to the sport by getting involved in the sport.
Yeah.
And then when you got like when we spoke about Jules Holland coming on and saying like, oh, the McLarens have been quite good. Like, no, they were like the worst cars there. It was on like the first weekend, wasn't it? It's like at least right. If I got
my money's on the McLarens, you've lost that, mate.
Yeah. Hey, you've got nothing left.
Who was it? Gerard Butler as well. Jules Holland and Gerard Butler, I think it was.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
that's
like,
a weird combination.
It was weird.
But like, if I got invited somewhere to go watch a sport, I would probably look at it a little bit, just so I had a bit of knowledge. I think like, okay, I'm trying out something new. I'll try and understand what's going on, or at least be honest in the interview. I think people would respect that a lot more rather than coming out and saying like, oh yeah, I think Latifi might win this one. Like, just be like, honestly, mate, I haven't really been watching it, but I'm really excited to sort of get involved and like understand what's going on.
Oh, I agree. And I think you look at, for example, when they interviewed David Beckham, a true gent, took his time, had a chat with Martin Brundle, and that's what you want to see. Because ultimately, if you're fans at home, the grid walk is now like an iconic part of the actual show, isn't it? So when if you're a fan watching at home, if you know Martin Brundle is going to go and do the grid walk, you're like, oh, who's he going to actually talk to today? But you got Pharrell going, oh yeah, Ferraris look quick, but Lewis is my boy. Okay, but that's fine. But
that's because he's standing there with like Richard Mille, wasn't he?
Yeah,
like obviously sponsored Ferrari.
That's great. Lewis is your boy, but what do you think about? I want to hear your opinions on what you think how the race is going to go. Like,
that's the thing. I don't think a lot of them have opinions because they're just there for. Oh, it's a cool event. Yeah. You just go because you get invited.
Michelle Obama was great. They did some interviews with her this weekend. She was superb.
That is quality, though, isn't it?
Yeah. My favourite of all time, though, Mr. Bean. I think he was in a McLaren garage.
Yeah, but he loves the sport. Yeah, he's a petrol head.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, like, don't get me wrong. I don't think celebrities being invited to the sport there is like a bad thing at all.
No.
Like it's quality seeing all these different people. It'd just be nice if they didn't pretend to know like what they're talking about, like we do, or B, at least like show some respect when I guess they don't know who Martin Brundle is. To them, he's just
another interviewer.
Like yeah, which is like not the case, but
yeah, but if you know F1 or if you know Martin Brundle.
Yeah, but they don't know F1.
No, I know, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Martin Brundle,
someone else ignored him. Was it Venus Williams?
Potentially, I don't know.
Serena Williams.
All
I saw was like a video on Twitter of him just basically getting ignored.
Yeah, because there's one guy who goes, yes, well, what do you do then? I'm an internet sensation or something.
Oh, yeah, that freak. And then he just ignored it.
Yeah, and then Martin Brundle was like, oh.
Modest.
Yeah. I just love the fact he's just ripping him to shreds. That's one of my favourite things. But I just want to see celebrities get a bit more involved. I mean, there's some that are really good. And, they're as I said, Michelle Obama was great. Mr. Bean is brilliant. I don't know why I'm calling him Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson.
He does have a real name.
No, his name is Mr. Bean. And David Beckham was great as well. But yeah, I just want to see if you're going to things like that, get involved a bit more, because fans at home want to see it. Fans are of you as well, of these celebrities. They want to see that. But anyway, enough ranting about celebrities. Shall we talk about qualifying? Because it was close.
Yeah. Now, a little confession.
You didn't watch it.
I was at this event, and I snuck off to the bar next door, but they were showing the Liverpool game. But luckily, I did have someone with me who like had it on his phone. So I was sort of keeping up to date a little bit, but I'd had a few pints by that point. I did watch the highlights in the morning. It's not really the same because I don't know if you've watched the highlights on Sky Sports YouTube. It's like for Q1 and Q2, like you don't actually see any of it. It's just by the time you get to it, like the checkered flag is out, the time's up.
Yeah.
And then you just sort of see who's there. So you don't know like really what's gone on. So I'm going to have you explain it to me.
So qualifying was actually good. Q1 was interesting. Joel unfortunately went out in Q1. I was a bit disappointed with him because he kind of got blocked on his flying lap. He came into some traffic. His lap was basically screwed from that point of view.
Actually, I saw that.
Yeah,
and there was an insane amount of traffic. I swear there was like 4 or 5 cars there.
Oh yeah, at one point, and you could hear he was so frustrated because he actually looked reasonably good.
Well, and clearly the Alphas.
They had the pace.
Yeah.
They had the pace. Both Williams went out, and this is where you look at Alex Albon. I know we're touching on the race in a minute, but he was phenomenal. He started 18th, and he ended up finishing 9th, which is superb.
Although he probably actually got bumped a few because the Aston started from...
They did, yeah, but still, from a qualifying point of view, that's not bad. Magnussen, Mick Schumacher was 15th and 16th. They struggled.
That surprised me, but then race pace, they looked good.
They looked all right. Ricciardo, 14th.
Yeah,
he had another shocker. But when you look at, for example, I was a bit more hopeful for Mercedes this weekend. Hamilton finished 6th behind Valtteri Bottas. Bottas probably loved that. He was like, look, both Mercedes are behind me.
Yeah.
Sublime, that's one. Lap by Bottas. He looked good all weekend. He looked fantastic all weekend. But the biggest talking point was the Ferraris. Carlos Sainz, after your last comment in last week's podcast, aged very well.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
If I'm a betting man, Carlos Sainz isn't. I had to do a TikTok on that or a post on that.
When I saw that, because I was watching it, I just thought, how he's now, in terms of crashes across the weekend, he's actually on par with Latifi this season.
Yeah. This is mental.
Not a good record to have.
Which is mental. But, quiz for you. Ferrari locked out the front row for the first time since...
Oh, I know this because I said it. It was since 2019.
Where?
Because it was Vettel and Raikkonen, wasn't it?
Yeah, but where was the track?
I'm just going to completely guess and say Monza.
You got the first initial right. It's Mexico.
That's what I said.
No, you said Monza.
Did I? Play it back. I think I said Mexico.
I'm pretty sure you said Monza. But yeah, no, on a whole, qualifying was good. I really liked the lap. I know there's a couple bits which the drivers weren't too happy for, but I actually like the track. For a new track.
Minus that, the horrible uphill chicane.
That looked brutal.
And then because that's in amongst other shitty little corners.
Yeah.
I don't like that part just because I think it's too slow. No one would make a move there. So what's the point in that part? All it does is slow down the race.
Yeah.
And nothing really happens. People smack that horrible little sausage curb.
Yeah.
Because Leclerc rode it when he was chasing Max down. It looked painful. But it looks awkward. But the track was quality. And what I loved is how long they all stayed quite close together. Even after lap 6 or something, Lewis, who was 7th at that point or something, was only 8 seconds behind Leclerc in front.
It was a lot closer racing this weekend.
Yeah, until the end. And then we had the safety car.
Before we get onto the race, I had a thought, right? So, when people are getting ready to do their flying laps and, they have a lap where they make a mistake, I still find it amazing how, for example, George, I know he didn't do too well in qualifying, but he had a shocker on one of his flying laps. He then had to go again. I still find it amazing how the drivers can just turn it around and go, okay, I made a mistake last lap. Because if that was me, I'd be thinking, I made this mistake. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to go fast again to actually get that lap.
You'd be panicking.
You probably would be panicking. But it's an incredible skill that they can go, do you know what? I made a mistake last lap. This lap, just going to go and smash it out. How many times have we seen drivers make a mistake and then go and get a flying lap, fastest lap next time out?
They have to instantly learn from it.
But don't you find that is just mental? It's a mental skill.
Driving at those speeds anyway.
Yeah.
And then you make a mistake and even if it is just a little mistake where a split second can change everything. Like if you didn't react a certain way to that mistake, you could have been in the wall.
Yeah.
So those thoughts, and then just to be like, oh, that doesn't matter. I'll just fly around this corner at 200 mile an hour again.
We look at Sainz, crashed on Friday, comes out on Saturday, and then gets P2.
Yeah.
I just find it baffling. I know it seems like a bit of a random comment, but I was just watching it going, that's an incredible skill to have, to go, right, I've made a horrible mistake there and I'm going to come out again and actually just smash it.
One where it's so potentially life-threatening.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, that's all right, I didn't die that time, let's go again.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. No, I'm not going to make a comparison because...
What, comparison to
what sport?
Say,
it's like, I don't know, like jumping out of a plane and forgetting your parachute, but it's not really, is it?
Okay, let's move on from that one. Race day. So both Aston Martin started from the pit lane because apparently they couldn't call that their fuel was too cold.
Too cold or too hot?
Too cold, I believe, that they said.
I
may be completely wrong.
I know it was a fuel temperature issue. I don't know in what direction.
But it happened on both cars, which is just really random. So they started from the pit lane.
Because also just talking about problems, Red Bull also had problems on
Perez's car.
Well, during the race, yeah, but Max had problems on Friday.
Oh yeah, he didn't do too many laps, did he, over the weekend?
No. So
they were actually really surprised how they managed to get a win after they didn't do any long runs. They didn't do hardly any testing. I think he only did 3 or 4 laps, didn't he? It wasn't many laps at all.
It's because he's good.
He is good. It's really It's really horrible to see. Really horrible to see. Let's talk about the start because obviously we had Leclerc, Sainz P1, P2. Max was P3. He had a superb start, overtook Sainz. I don't think Sainz could have really done anything with that. He kind of got sandwiched out of it, didn't he, really?
I don't think he didn't. I don't think he really got the worst start either. I don't think he got the best, but yeah, I think it was just one of those things where
Max was just too aggressive into that corner.
Yeah.
Sainz couldn't deal with him.
Max did what Max does best, really, and just didn't give him a chance.
Yeah. Do you know who gained the most positions on the first lap?
Oh, on the first lap, it was Alonso, wasn't it?
Yeah. How many positions did he gain?
3,
4.
Oh.
He had a little coming together with Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, I mean, I feel it was a bit naughty, but I don't think it was worth a penalty or anything.
No, it was a bit. Yeah.
And Lewis was also unlucky because he got a really good start and he got blocked off by Perez.
It's a really tight corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're on the outside, it's okay because you can kind of take it. But if you're on the inside, you've got that horrible curb.
Yeah. No, it's awkward.
And you can't. There's not really. You have to back out of it because otherwise, you just get cut off.
Yeah, and we saw obviously at some stage in the race, Perez tried to outbrake Sainz, but he was down on the inside and he just completely locked up.
See you later.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought it was good. It was quite interesting because it was only 5 cars that started on hard tyres. The rest started on mediums. And actually the mediums looked very good this weekend, which was quite surprising because of how hot it was. I thought the hards were going to be the better option. Both Williams started on hards. George even started on hards because he started down in, what was it, 12th, 13th, I think, at the weekend.
Yeah, after the pit correction.
And he really struggled. He went down to P15 after the
off
first.
the line, he was awful.
He was awful.
Yeah, he lost 3 places, I think.
The hard tyres took about 10 laps to actually come into their own.
The thing, they did light up.
Yeah.
Eventually. But yeah, no, at first they were really slow.
But the mediums looked quite good from the word go, which was quite surprising. And what was Sorry.
They didn't massively degrade. I mean, considering at the start of the race where they say like how long they're expected to last, the mediums were like 8 to 12 laps.
Yeah.
But like people were on them for like 23, 24 laps.
Well, the pit window was between 12 and 19 laps.
Yeah, like some people anyone went in.
The top teams were coming. I think Lewis Hamilton came in at lap 23, and Leclerc was a lap 24, 25. Yeah. So they had good wear on those tyres. And what was quite interesting is Leclerc at some point, because it's an anti-clockwise circuit, what was happening is they were having a lot of wear on their right-hand side tyres, which Ferrari really struggled with, whereas Red Bull really conserved it really well.
Yeah.
Look at me talking about F1 stuff. Look at that. Stat knowledge that was.
Where'd you read that?
No, I actually, F1 told me. But I found that quite interesting. And you never really think about it, do you? You think, just go around a circuit and what difference does it matter with your tyres? But actually, if it's anti-clockwise, your right-hand side is always going to take a punishment.
Yeah, it's... I did find it interesting that the Red Bulls were able to preserve their tyres better. But I guess, is it also to do with the fact that, and I don't know here, the Ferraris are obviously better in the corners. So because they're cornering a bit more aggressively because they can, but is that also like adding wear to the tyres?
But they're also running a lower downforce, I think, Red Bull were. Red Bull were, I think.
Yeah, but they still weren't as quick in the corners.
No, straight line pace was...
The straight line speed was honestly a joke. I swear, they were like 7 kilometres an hour quicker.
Yeah.
With like, just without DRS.
No, it was ridiculous.
Because Leclerc couldn't
do anything.
No, there was nothing. Because there's nowhere else to overtake on that track other than the straights.
I think I know we touched on it last week. So they had 3 DRS zones in that.
Yeah.
The straights were actually okay. The back straight leading into the first, to the
pit straight.
The pit straight. I like that bit. I thought that was quite good. I thought it gives you quite a big opportunity to overtake. So I quite like that.
And it's after that like batch of slow, awkward corners. So if you don't nail them, which they look pretty hard to drive, I wouldn't be able to tell you. But so if you don't nail them, well then the car behind you has got a great opportunity to then overtake. And there was a lot of overtaking in this race.
I liked it. I really did like it. Charles was the first driver to retire. I felt quite sorry for him because he actually had a good start and he got up to P12, but mechanical issues, he had to retire the car.
Do we know what went wrong?
No, I didn't. To be honest, I didn't find out. But there was nothing mentioned actually in the show. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed with him because he did look strong. He had just overtaken Ricciardo, looking strong, up to P12, and then all of a sudden, had to retire. But that was a shame for him. Lap 9, Max overtook Leclerc. It was just inevitable, wasn't it? Initially, the first few laps, Leclerc looked strong, and then all of a sudden, Max just gained and gained.
Yeah, well, I think it was down to that tyre wear, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was and Leclerc had a lock up.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And look, here's the thing, right? Max just isn't or doesn't make mistakes. He really is. He's filling Lewis's shoes. Let's be honest here. Maybe if Lewis gets the car, we are going to see those two go back at it again.
I really hope so.
But right now, I mean, Max is looking like the perfect replacement, so to speak, as that number one driver.
Yeah.
I think we've had periods where say after Schumacher, in that little period, there was no one, say, who until Vettel, that was like, okay, they're lighting up the scene. I know Hamilton came in, won that championship in his second season, but I don't know, when you see someone and you just watch them, you just think, man, you're a different league. And that's the vibes you get from Verstappen.
Like you said, he doesn't make mistakes. He is... I'm not a massive fan of how he communicates with his team, because when it's going bad, he's very happy to throw them under the bus. But actually, when it's going good, it's like, I love you, all of this stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't take responsibility.
No,
for
that's his only downfall. But actually, I suppose if you're that good, would you want to take responsibility for anything?
Yeah, I guess.
But
I do feel like, as a, to be the best driver. I mean, we said this about Latifi. You have to understand when it's something you've done. And I know we just said Max doesn't make mistakes, which he doesn't, but at least he doesn't make anything major.
Apart from ending up on Hamilton's car.
Yeah, but that was last season.
Yes, let's move on. Yeah. I'm over it.
We're moving on. But yeah, and Leclerc, very quick, very good. I do just, my money would always be on Max.
Yeah, no, I agree. And this is what we touched on in the last episode. I can't see Max. Well, I can see Max and Red Bull just going away with the championships this year, constructors and drivers' title.
Well, but then Perez finishing behind the Ferraris.
Okay, so let's touch on Perez quickly.
Because he's struggled to overtake Sainz a few times this season.
Yeah, but there's a reason.
Okay, yesterday there was a reason.
There was a reason. Okay. Let's just touch on that reason, okay? Because this blows my mind how this works. So Perez lost power, okay? I can't remember how much it is, but it's quite a chunk over. It's like a tenth a lap or something.
Yeah, it was 20 kilowatts, which Martin Brundle did the calculation into horsepower, and I can't remember what he said, but it was a significant chunk.
Apparently, one of their sensors had gone. So he was losing power because Perez was just going mental on the radio, wasn't he? Mate, I am losing power.
That was so funny. He'd lost 4 seconds, right?
Yeah.
In a lap. And he's like, I'm losing power. His mechanic's like, no, all looks good from our end. He's like, mate, I'm losing power. He's like, no, you've just lost the toe. He'd lost 4 seconds. He hadn't just lost a toe.
But this is where it gets mental. So Christian Horner explained it after, that they can just change... They just move the sensors around to start getting pace back in the car just from...
What do you mean, move the sensors around?
So because he lost a sensor, which was losing in power, the mechanics moved the sensors around on their computers, I guess, or whatever. I'm not technical here. But didn't you hear him talking about this? This is where it blew my mind.
I did watch him. I do tune out when he sort of comes on.
Yeah, but they had to move the sensors around to actually help get that power back in the car.
And did they get it back?
Well, yeah, he stopped losing 4 seconds a lap, didn't he?
Yeah, true. But
that just blew my mind.
But that's actually so I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt for not being able to overtake Sainz on the fresh mediums.
Yeah.
Because I thought he didn't have the power. But if he did,
but he was still losing power.
Okay, so he was still.
He wasn't as they
just didn't lose as much.
As much, yeah.
Okay. All right. No, you get the benefit.
Yeah. Well done. For the first time this year, Leclerc came on the radio, didn't he, and said, this car is so difficult to drive. And that's the first time I've heard him say that this year, which was quite interesting. Yeah. I don't know if it was just a ploy to actually show to Red Bull, let's play some mind games. But it did, at one point, up until the safety car, it did look tricky to drive. And Max was actually pulling away a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, but it didn't look as difficult for Carlos. I mean, Leclerc had a bit more issues, or looked like he made a few more mistakes than Sainz did. And was it difficult to drive, or was it difficult to drive under pressure? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And Max breathing down his neck. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not sitting in there, but it just seems strange considering the Ferrari has looked like the nicest car to drive the whole time, other than a bit of bouncing. But that hasn't really affected them by the looks of things.
I think what we're going to find this year is actually each car is going to suit certain tracks.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
I think yesterday, although Ferrari came out with a good P2 and P3, it just suited Red Bull much better.
I said last week, I swear. You've probably gone through the episode. I swear I said this track screams Red Bull to me.
You did.
Because of the straights.
Yeah, you did. You said, and it was right. They had that pace.
Yeah.
They had that pace.
And You saw how Ferrari just could not combat that. Quicker through the corners. Even with DRS though, get to a straight, they just couldn't get close enough.
No, it was shocking.
But I do actually want to say, because you touch on mind games between Ferrari and
Red Bull.
Binotto has come out and said they were faster 2 races in a row thanks to upgrades that they've brought early on. So basically saying that, well, Red Bull have developed their car, we're still holding back. The budget cap sets a limit as to what you can spend, so I hope at one point they will stop developing. Does that sound like desperation? Please stop. But he's then said, we will bring upgrades at Barcelona and hope they work good enough to catch and fight with them again.
That sounds like desperation to me. Please, Red Bull, just please stop doing upgrades. Stop being so good.
I swear it's just... They were P2 and P3.
Yeah.
Everyone knows, from the start of the season, they've had the best straight line speed. Red Bull.
Oh, yeah, that's nothing new. Everyone knows that. But I think what Ferrari were finding is that they were kind of counteracting that in certain areas of the track because Red Bull weren't as good. But now Red Bull can deal with that.
Yeah.
Look at yesterday in like the fast speed corners and stuff. Red Bull was still good at that, whereas before earlier in the season, that's where that was potentially some of their Achilles heels there.
So if we are going to see Ferrari upgrades at Barcelona, what are we expecting?
They're gonna for me it would be aero. It would be they're looking at how they can improve on the straights.
Because they still got to get rid of the porpoising because they've got to be losing some time from that.
Yeah, but then that comes down with with it. But they had a new floor, didn't they? In Imola, I believe.
Did they?
I think they had a new floor in Imola, but they need to work on their straight line speed. That's the only thing that's going to lose them this title this year is their straight line speed.
Yeah. No, I agree because it's so hard to combat. If Red Bull have a car that is good through the corners, but then great down the straights.
Yeah.
But because everyone knows the straights with the DRS, that is where the main overtaking opportunities come from.
Yeah. But you look at yesterday after the safety car, Leclerc was getting really close to Max.
Yeah.
But even with, the DRS that Leclerc had, Max was still able to pull out that, that gap down the straight line.
Yeah.
Which is just mental, So I and I think it's something extra like 12 miles per hour having that extra DRS.
It makes a huge difference.
But then Max was still able to have that pace down the straight, which is just mad. Let's just talk about that safety car. Norris got taken out by Gasly. Whose fault would you say that was, Gasly or Norris?
Look, I think Gasly clearly had an issue. The car wouldn't turn by the looks of things.
He went off track, didn't he?
Yeah. I think he probably... I don't even think he came on dangerously. I just think it was just one of those things. It was a racing incident. Yeah. I don't think anyone was massively at fault. Norris probably could have spotted him a touch sooner. And maybe... I don't know. They just sort of came in together.
One of the biggest learning curves from this weekend for McLaren was their pit stops. Because they had a 2 second slower pit stop, he came out behind this whole Aston Martin, Haas train.
Awful.
And then that kind of got him into that position where he kind of ended up getting taken out by Gasly because he was just in the wrong position. So, and touching on pit stops, Red Bull again, props to you. I mean, a 2.4 second pit stop for Max.
Flawless. Every single time they are flawless.
And again, Ferrari was slow with signs. I mean, I said to you in the last episode, Red Bull will win these championships
based on stuff
like that, yeah. And they were prolific again. They were superb. So it really, I don't know about you, but it really pains me to say
how good Red Bull are.
How good Red Bull are, yeah.
Because let's talk teams. Mercedes, strategy, terrorists. A lot of you're terrorists.
Yeah, you messaged me this.
That is...
What were they doing? Because if you're George Russell, you've got to be pretty delighted with the fact that you're ending up finishing P5. You know, the strategy was good. And to be fair, he said, like, let's stay out a bit longer, hope for a safety car. He worked with that. The bit that
And granted, you've got to get lucky.
You've got to get lucky, and he did with that point. You know, pitted when a safety car. He had really good pace when he came out on the mediums. Superb. The thing that really baffled me with Hamilton is I don't know if this relationship between Lewis and Bono is actually starting to sour now, because you heard yesterday, didn't you, on team radio? He goes to Lewis, oh, what do you want to do? And Lewis is like, well, you have the data. You tell me what you want me to do.
Have you seen the Lewis quote? So Lewis said, in that scenario, I have no clue where everyone is. So when the team says it's your choice, I don't have the information to make the decision. That's what your job is. You got all the details. Today, they gave it to me. I don't understand it.
Yeah. No, that was in a post-match. That was a post-race interview, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Post-match interview.
But
it's
like,
not football.
It's true. Why? I was sitting here watching it with a mate. And we were just like, okay, well, you know, we can see that pitting would be a good idea. He may lose. I assume they would have put him on softs.
Yeah. They were putting a lot of them on softs, weren't they?
He may have lost the position initially to George. I think that's the only position he would have lost. But it was obvious if he stayed out, he was going to lose the position anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas if he came in, went on softs, okay, you've lost the position to George, you're going to be quicker. Now, he's not to know that. But, like, you know, he's focusing on one thing. The team have all that data where they could be like, okay, Lewis, we're going to bring you in because this is going to benefit your race, because it's really obvious. We can all see it.
I just don't feel like they're learning from last year's mistakes.
No, because weirdly as well, the full safety car came at the perfect time. Lewis was just coming round. He could have just dived in.
Get him in.
And then they didn't. So we were like, why?
You missed your chance
Why
again.
have they not come in? And then there was like, okay, he could probably actually get away with it on like coming in after this lap. Nope. Fucked it.
It's just like Saudi, wasn't it? Like box. I've just gone past it.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're telling me now? It's those type of things that are
Costing the team.
Make me question the relationship between Hamilton and people like Bono, because they've had that success all over the years and they've been superb. But now other teams are so good at strategies.
I think what it seems is that they're actually scared of Lewis. They're actually.
You think?
Yeah, it looks like they're scared of doing something that doesn't work out in his favour. Okay, so the reason they didn't bring him in, I reckon the reason they didn't just bring him in straight away and just tell him, right, Lewis, come in, is because he would have lost the position to George. And that would have pissed him off naturally. But they need to start thinking the long game. They knew that if they brought him in, he'd lose the position. He'll actually get that position back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like they're scared of making the wrong decision for him.
No,
That's what it seems to me. But that's not what any driver needs.
No.
They need the people with all the information in front of them
To make those changes.
make the calls. They're not always going to be right. I don't think we expect, as Mercedes fans, for every decision to be right. But I do expect them to make a decision.
Yeah.
And not be like, what do you want to do, Lewis? Tell us.
So Lewis, I've just come back from my lunch break. It looks like it's going to be a safety car. What would you like to do today?
Yeah,
come on.
You tell us what strategy you want.
Yeah. No, that's the whole point. You get paid all this money to actually make these decisions. Yeah. But no, I am concerned about. I just have a feeling that this relationship is getting a bit sour now, and Lewis is starting to lose a bit of patience. You know, like his post-race interview yesterday, that was pretty showing that he was quite happy to say, no, but this isn't my choice to make. I don't have these decisions.
Yeah, but I think sometimes it's right for a driver to come out and call out the team.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, the team, they've just not helped him. He may as well have not had anyone there.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, Lewis? What? Like, that's not the purpose of, or at least give him the options and say, right, these are the two possibilities. If you come in, we'll give you softs. You're going to lose the position. We think you're probably going to get it back because you'll be on quicker tyres. Or you can stay out on your old tyres. George is on fresh mediums.
Yeah.
And chances are you're going to lose that position anyway. Okay, well, now he's got all the information.
Let him make a decision if you want.
But I still think the teams should just be saying, no, like, this is what we think is best, to come in or stay out.
One day I just want to drive to go, right, okay, I've got a decision. So on my rears, I want medium tyres. On my front, I want softs. That's how I want it.
I think they should. Surely, why wouldn't they allow that? Would it work? Or would it just be... No, I guess...
I'm sure the balance of the car would be completely...
Half your tyres would be fucked and then, yeah.
I just saw in your mind, that's actually quite a good idea.
That would be quite good. Why didn't they put Perez on softs?
Did
he have any?
I honestly don't know.
Because I thought he had gone on softs.
Yeah, but he went on mediums, didn't he? Fresh mediums. But he did, to be fair though, after that safety car, he did take signs, but he did go off that corner, didn't he, in turn one?
Yeah, so he didn't really take him, did he?
No, but he had the pace to take him, but he lost it, obviously, and he just couldn't get back there.
He had to outbrake him because Sainz had basically put him onto the inside.
Yeah.
So Sainz would have just taken him.
Fair enough point.
So I'd say that was good driving by Sainz.
He was just like, yep, see you later.
Just dipped off.
Yeah. Kind of like what Leclerc did, in Bahrain with Max. Yep, overtake me, but I'll get you back next time.
That's
smart racing.
Yeah. Where they sort of like, well, okay, they can overtake me here because I know that they're going to have the awkward line. And the only way they're going to stay in front is if they're able to outbrake me. But chances are they're probably not going to be able to there.
Yeah.
Did you know?
No.
That yesterday
Yep.
was Max Verstappen's 63rd podium.
Was it?
In Formula One, right? Now that puts him into the top 10 of all time.
Okay.
Who does he share that list with?
Lewis Hamilton.
Yep.
Michael Schumacher.
Are you doing it in order?
Well, no, I'm just trying to think.
Okay.
Michael Schumacher. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to respond. You can't just.
Yeah, but obviously.
Okay. Well,
obviously Hamilton and Schumacher are on that list.
I don't know if you don't tell me.
But
no, all right.
They're obviously on.
Yeah, but you
They're
asked
like
me.
two people that I don't need to confirm.
Okay, well you do because I'm answering your question.
2 7-time world champions.
All right, let's move on.
No, they're not in the top 10.
No, Mika Hakkinen.
No.
He's not on there.
No. You can get 3 wrong and then I'm going to have to reveal it all to you.
Okay. This is tough. Senna.
Yeah, Senna's on there.
Mansell.
No.
I
think you're going back way too far.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to... Damon Hill. Jacques Villeneuve.
No.
I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me.
I feel like I
okay.
I would have got
Vettel.
many of these. Yeah.
Okay. Alonso.
Yeah.
David Coulthard.
I mean, fuck me. Why would he come to your mind?
He was at a time in the McLaren that he used to get quite a few points. He's just going to tell me then.
Okay. Well, this one is going to annoy you because you should know this. Valtteri Bottas.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Alan Prost.
Okay. You said not to go back. I was going back quite a while.
Kimi Räikkönen.
Oh, yeah,
obviously.
Good. Yeah.
Rubens Barrichello is the last one.
Legend.
In order, it's Hamilton, Schumacher, Vettel, Prost, Räikkönen, Alonso, Senna, Barrichello, Bottas, Verstappen. Verstappen's got 5 more until he's ahead of Bottas.
Do you think that will happen?
I think, I do believe it's going to be hard for Verstappen to get to Schumacher Hamilton level. I don't mean in terms of like ability. I think he's a really good driver. I just think those sort of numbers.
It's only 100 away.
Only 100 podiums.
Yeah, no, but that's only like.
To be level with Lewis, he needs 120 podiums.
Okay.
How many races a year?
20 odd, 23.
Okay, so
20, 40, 60, 80. That's still 5 years. And he's only, what, 24, 25?
Yeah, but that would be assuming that he gets a podium every single race.
Yeah, true. Well, at the moment, he's not far off, is he? I know he's had those DNFs, but he's not far off.
Yeah. No, I think we're going to see... I'll be shocked if we don't see Max Verstappen in that third.
He'll get top three. Top three.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get top two.
But at the end of the day, it depends on the team.
Yeah, whether they keep progressing. Yeah, no, I completely agree.
You know, Lewis and Schumacher both raced for two of the most dominant teams in F1 history.
And if Red Bull are going to go like this for the next 8 years, for example, like Mercedes did, there's this 100 or so podiums, isn't there?
I just think I don't know, it's a bit more competitive now. Do you not think?
Yeah, but again, you've got to remember this only podiums. So Max only needs to get
it's not like
second,
poles,
third. No, it's not, it's not like, Hamilton's 103rd pole and 103rd win, is it? It's like these are just podiums as such.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Max will get a lot more podiums of that. So I think top two, and I would not be surprised if he ends up being number one at some point if Lewis doesn't start getting podiums again.
That would annoy me. But...
Oh, it would annoy me as well. Let's talk about Haas quickly, and then we'll get on to fan questions.
Yep.
Mick Schumacher, mate. We try and give you the benefit of doubt. We try and say to you, "Oh, you're doing well." He had a good race yesterday, and then he decides to take out Seb. You're the only person on that grid who actually is like your second dad.
Yeah, it's like a father figure to him.
And you decide to take him out into turn one. What are you thinking, mate? Like, you were on course for points.
There was no gap there.
No. And
I know he came on the radio and he was like, "No, that was my corner." And then I swear Seb was just like, "I don't think there was a gap there." And there wasn't, like, because he was never going to make that corner.
It was just, and that is where he still showed immaturity, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it's probably that desperation thing of where, K-Mag's been picking up points. Mick's now on the brink.
Well, he was there. He didn't have to do anything stupid. He was in the points.
Yeah, he should have just...
He would have got him down the other straight.
Yeah, he should have just picked his time.
So, yeah, I was disappointed with that. And then Magnussen decided to take out Stroll. It's like Haas had a real problem this weekend with Aston Martin.
Well, and he got black and white flags for weaving again.
Yeah, after the race. Did you hear that Magnussen got... Brundle came on and he was like... on our system, it's just shown that Magnussen has been given a black and white flag. And he said, "Is he still driving around the track?" Like,
what, was it after the race he was given?
Yeah,
that then?
yeah.
What's the point?
Well, there was no point. but Crofty and that was like, "Is he still going round? Like, what's going on?" But yeah, that made me laugh. But Haas just seemed to. Aston Martin looked good. They're looking better.
I was going to say, shall we give our props to Stroll?
We're going to have to. P10 in the end. And I think that is fair play to him. He actually was solid.
Was he P10 or P11?
No, because Alonso had his penalty, so Stroll went into 10th.
Yeah, but what about Danny Rick? Because he finished 11th.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Did he?
Yeah, so it was like, in terms of race order... It was Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Russell, Hamilton, Bottas, Ocon, Alonso, Albon, Danny Rick, Stroll.
Okay, well, I don't know, because Fernando Alonso has been demoted from P9 to P11 in Miami after leaving the track and gaining an advantage.
So that would move Albon and Ricciardo.
So it said, after the race, stewards and then investigated Alonso for leaving the track and dropping him from P9 to P11, promoting Lance Stroll into P10, giving the Aston Martin driver a point. Alex Albon moved to P9. No, Danny Rick...
I've got the classification here.
So what happened to Danny Rick then?
Where are you looking at this?
on the actual F1 website?
I just don't understand that. Like, where's he gone then?
Danny Rick says here he's got 13th.
What?
I'm really confused.
Does anyone know
How's
how
that?
this race finished? Could you let us know?
What has gone on?
Why are they different? Wait, so what are you looking at?
On the actual F1 website?
But I just don't understand.
I'm really confused because what happened to Danny Rick?
Did he get a penalty?
I don't know. He must have because
Tsunoda's 12th. Yeah, Tsunoda finished 13th. And Stroll finished 12th.
where are you looking?
So it's the actual race classification.
Okay, so
this is how the actual race finished.
Tsunoda and Ricciardo must have had a penalty then. That's the only way that's actually.
Well, Tsunoda wouldn't, because Tsunoda moved up.
Oh yeah, sorry. Danny Rick must have had one then.
But
I'm so confused.
Is there a way of telling?
Well, no, because it's not shown on here.
Wait. Did Magnussen DNF?
He did, yeah.
Did he?
No, he didn't. What is going on?
On here, it says he DNF'd. But then, on here, all it says is Gasly, Norris and Zhou DNF'd. Which they're the ones that I can...
Vettel DNF'd. Mate, I'm so confused because on the race result I did yesterday. Sorry, if you're listening to this, it's like, help us out here because
Who the fuck are these two clowns?
Because I'm really baffled because I've got the race result I did after the edit.
All right, you know what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on. Firstly, I'm gonna go on McLaren's Instagram.
Yeah.
Daniel P11. Is that right?
Yeah.
Lando DNF.
Yeah.
So Danny, but I don't understand if he finished ahead of Stroll.
He must have had a penalty. He must have.
Okay, so Aston Martin, I'm going to go on their Instagram now.
Because Stroll finished 12th and Vettel DNF'd. I know that for sure because I did the edit afterwards.
Mate, they don't even post where they finished. Why would they not do that?
If you are listening, honestly, this has just completely blown our minds because
well, everywhere is saying that the race finished differently. Okay, AlphaTauri, I'm going to look at that.
Because that's just baffling.
Yuki Tsunoda P13.
Yeah, Tsunoda P13, yeah. Because this is the edit I did. So I don't understand. They must have had penalties. Because it can't...
Yeah.
There's got to be penalties because this is just ridiculous.
That is fucked. Anyway.
Because it says, tough day. He got 11th. This is just really bizarre.
Who got 11th?
Danny Rick, it says on the...
And where did you say that he finished?
11th. So I honestly could not tell you what has actually happened. Either the F1 have had a shocker here and just given Stroll an extra point for nothing. Guys, let us know because...
We don't know. We can't tell you anything.
Only because I came in here knowing what was actually happening.
So I pulled up the race classification because I was like, sometimes it's hard to remember everyone in order. But clearly this is wrong. But this is lap 57 of 57.
Let's move on because we're just going to be here for ages not working out what's going on. So on a whole, Miami weekend, rate it?
Yeah, I like it.
I like
Can't
it.
lie.
Props to you. Did very good. I liked it. Shall we do fan questions?
Yeah. Do you want to read them to me?
Yeah.
Did I read them to you last
time? No, I think I read... oh, no, you did, yeah. Yeah, you did.
Okay, here you go. So if you do want to get involved in this, we post a little Instagram story every Sunday, because we normally film on Mondays.
Yep.
So every Sunday evening after the race, do a little post where you can send in questions, and we do read all of them. Not all of them make the podcast, but to be in with a chance, got to be in it to win it.
Right, this is from Devon_Throb. Are you sure you guys don't just have a problem with Canadian people, Latifi and Stroll? No, we have no problem.
I've got many Canadian friends.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, if they're two Canadian people just happen to be the shittest, that is not really our problem.
Well, Stroll is actually kind of turning my...
Yeah, actually,
he's changing my opinion.
Never actually gave props to Stroll for that race. He's also, minus sometimes weaving, he is a hard driver to pass.
Yeah, he's getting better, and fair play to him. But Latifi, just a different thing. Sam Johnson, if you could pick F1 race to see live next season, which one would it be?
Ooh.
Monaco
would be quality to go and see live.
Yeah.
Purely because it's Monaco. I mean, you know what, actually? I probably would pick somewhere like Monaco because we've said going to watch a race, you're not getting as good a view as what you are from the TV.
So you won't be as bored.
What do you mean?
You won't be as bored if you're watching it live.
Yeah. So if you're going to watch like a crap race like Monaco, which in terms of racing it is, you'd rather be there getting involved and having a good time rather than some really eventful race where you're literally only seeing 10% of what's going on. I know you've got big screens and whatnot, but why would I pay £500 to go and watch something on a big screen when I can watch it at home?
You could just buy a new TV.
Yeah, exactly. So Monaco, I think that'd be quality. But don't get me wrong, I want to go to a race just because you go there for the atmosphere, don't you?
No, I'd like to go. G.B_electrical. We probably just shouted out their old business now. Yeah. Can George Russell beat Hamilton in the championship this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's on track to do so. I don't think Lewis will make it easy for him. I think once if this car gets its issues ironed out, then I think it will get a bit... I could see it getting feisty between them. Lewis doesn't like finishing second. No. Lewis is not a number two. So I think George definitely has it in him to beat him. I mean, these are new cars. It doesn't really matter how experienced you are as a driver. Everyone in these specific cars is as experienced as the next driver.
Yeah. No,
now, it's only going to be racecraft that is going to change that. I'm not sure. Obviously, I want George to do well. I want Lewis to get number 8, and I know that's not going to happen this year, but if he has a good year this year, and then Mercedes really do sort their problems out, next year he can get it, and then George can go and take the reins.
Okay, counter question to that. If Hamilton just finished second to Russell this year, do you think he would leave Mercedes?
No, you can't. If he did, I'd be really disappointed in him. If he left them because the car wasn't good enough, and someone came along and offered him a seat in a competitive car or a more competitive car, I'd understand that, but you can't just leave because your teammate beats you after being like winning like 6 championships in 8 years or whatever.
No,
that would be some grade A bullshit.
Liam.T.24. If Albon keeps up his form, does he become favourite for a Red Bull return?
Well, yeah. And the reason I say that is because Perez won't be leaving at the end of the season, which means Gasly will probably cut ties with Red Bull.
Yep.
And then, Albon will probably happily do another year at Williams. Then I think it opens the door for that, like, what would be like the 2024 season for Albon to step into that seat again.
Did you see his post-race interview? I keep saying post-race interview.
It was good.
He's such a likable character, isn't he? He's such a likable character. He was so good. And he even said, didn't he, he's driving with no pressure. Whereas when he didn't realise when he was with Red Bull how much pressure he had on him. And now he's just driving, no pressure. He's enjoying his driving. And it's great to see, he's brilliant for the sport.
Yeah, no, and he said, I didn't really understand the dynamics. I didn't have that experience of working in such a big team. Yeah. So like now he's sort of stripping it back and starting smaller. Because I guess even being he was at Toro Rosso or whatever, that's like you're a little team within a big team. So it's still that same sort of vibe. Whereas now Williams, he's just got this team.
Yeah. And
it's probably really good experience for him. I mean, he's seen how it's helped George.
It's perfect. It's perfect for him. I really hope he does well. I really hope. And so far, what we've seen of him, he's been superb. Well. He is. Crystal Sky 02. Is Ricciardo finished as a competitor? He's a top bloke, but is he a top driver?
No.
I would agree with you on that one.
He's just yeah, I think, did I say he was going to be the shock driver of the week?
Yeah.
I don't know why I say these things.
Just talk about, when we, shock of the week, I keep saying Joel or Mick and they end up having shockers. Somebody, DM'd us yesterday. You keep picking these guys and they keep having shockers. So
Max Verstappen.
That's it. Next race, my shock driver of the week is going to be Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, I'm hoping for that. One more question.
Go for it.
Some very good questions here. Cuff 9. Thoughts on the Miami Grand Prix track? Would you change anything?
Yeah, only those, like, that horrible back bit with, like, the awkward chicane. And I personally don't see the purpose in it.
Yeah.
I don't see what, like, it doesn't give us better racing.
No, I agree.
Although a lot of the drivers, what I didn't understand, but they were complaining about the tarmac.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just if anyone understands that, just because look, we're not sitting here claiming to know everything.
We want to learn from you guys, so you let us know.
If anyone can help out, please do.
Final question. I know this is the last question. Willamore _ whose fault? No, that's not the one I want to do. Whose fault was a Vettel Schumacher crash? Is Mick's seat safe?
Well, I mean, it was Mick's fault. Really, there was no gap there. No. That you couldn't. He was never going to make that corner. And it was Seb's corner. His seat. I don't think his seat is currently unsafe.
No.
But it's on track to becoming unsafe.
If he keeps making those type of errors as he did yesterday, because he was on course for points, or he just had to play it safe until the end and just grab, whether it was a point or not, just grab a point.
Yeah.
And then you're on the board.
And then the pressure's off, and then it will feel so much easier collecting points.
Yeah. Because could you imagine at this time saying to Gunter, okay, 5 races in, your driver Mick Schumacher does not have a point on the board.
Yeah, like that's. I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be Mick, like sort of leading the team.
Yeah.
Just because I thought that he'd really step up now he's been given the car.
Yeah.
And it's just not been that way at all.
Granted, one of the races he didn't start in Saudi Arabia, but the rest of them, I was really hoping for something from him. But yesterday he was really disappointed, and it really showed still some immaturity there in decision making. But I'm hopeful it works out. He's great. He's a great guy to have on the grid. So hopefully it does get sorted. But that is the end of the podcast, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave us a rating on there. We'd really appreciate it. Leave us a comment as well on Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, hit a like, subscribe if you are new. Luke, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
What are you doing the rest of the day now?
I think I need a nap. For everyone listening, it's currently 10:16 in the morning, and I've been awake for 2 hours, 15 minutes too long.
Nice. All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching and listening, and we shall see you next week for a brand new podcast. Bye-bye.